Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for today's Ag Report. Our network's Brett McCrae is in Sidney today for the Mondac Ag Days and Trade Show. Of course, a lot of discussion there about how farms will move forward without sugar beets. Brett spoke with grower Sarah Dane about how producers are feeling and what they're looking at raising instead.
I think the way it ended is the worst part because it feels like they just stabbed us in the back, blaming the farmers for closing the factory when we'd all ordered seed and were ready to plant. But 3 weeks in, I have some hope that we're finding some new crops we can try. I'm going to try some winter canola. We're going to play with some flax and maybe some safflower and just see what else we can get into to replace the sugar beets.
Well, a 3-day artificial insemination school hosted by ABS Global will be held next week at the public auction yards in Billings, March 9th through the 11th, covering anatomy and physiology of reproduction, heat detection, sync programs, and producers will get to work with fresh cows to inseminate each day. The price of the school is $650. You can contact Lacey Sutherland for more information. And spring reference prices for crop insurance have now been set. The prices are a critical component of revenue protection crop insurance policies. The prices are calculated by averaging the closing price of the September spring wheat, December corn, and November beans each day in February. The reference price for spring wheat is $8.87 per bushel. Corn was set at $4.73 and soybeans at $13.60. Well, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you back here in an hour for more on the markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought, there always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us back here for the Ag Report. The Montana Historical Society is recognizing 2 ranching families for keeping operations in their family's care for over 100 years. The Luppold Buckingham Ranch in Marr County near White Sulphur Springs has been in the same family for 150 years and is operated today by Roger and Megan Schroyer. And the Sanders Ranch in Granite County near Phillipsburg has been in operation since 1901. Carl Sanders, the 5th generation on the ranch, said the real key to success has been each generation passing down insights and knowledge as they work side by side with the next generation. Well, feeder cattle futures were flat on Thursday and live cattle ran into some losses. Traders were disappointed by the cash trade, even though sales are steady to $1 higher this week, right now around $165 on a live basis and $262 dressed. At the public auction yards in Billings, young bred cows topped out at $22.75, the bulk from $19.50 to $21.50, solid mouth cows primarily from $1,600 to $1,800, and short-term cows $13.50 to $14.50. Finished lambs in Sioux Falls up 5 to 7, trading $130 to $144, and ewes mostly steady. And the wheat market showed some recovery from its oversold conditions as drought is expected to continue in parts of the southern plains, and there's concern that Russia will play hardball on the extension of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Well, that's going to do it for today's markets. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great Friday.